In a world where laughter echoed through living rooms and families gathered around the TV, Roseanne gave audiences more than just punchlines. It offered characters who felt real, flawed, vibrant, and deeply human. But beyond the set, the lives of many cast members carried stories marked by struggle, heartbreak, and resilience. From meteoric rises to devastating falls, these actors faced challenges that fame could never shield them from. Today, we uncover the powerful and often tragic journeys of the stars who brought this legendary series to life. Glenn Quinn as Mark Healy. Glenn Martin Christopher Francis Quinn was born on May 28, 1970, in Dublin, Ireland. From a young age, he displayed a captivating presence that would one day endear him to millions. In 1988, Glenn, along with his mother and two sisters, made the bold move to the United States, seeking new beginnings and greater opportunities. For Glenn, Hollywood quickly opened its doors. His natural charisma and good looks landed him early work in commercials, including a memorable Pepsi ad and even appearances in music videos, such as for Richard Marx. But it was in 1990 that his life would change forever, when at just 20 years old he was cast in Roseanne as Mark Healy, the rebellious, denim-clad heartthrob who became Becky Connor's boyfriend, and later her husband. Glenn's portrayal of Mark brought depth to a character that could have been simply another bad boy stereotype. His soulful blue eyes, subtle defiant grin, and undeniable Irish charm made Mark unforgettable. Audiences saw in him not just a rough-edged youth, but someone tender and loyal beneath the bravado. Glenn's performance helped make Mark a fan favorite and cemented the character's place in television history. Behind the scenes, however, Glenn faced challenges that came with rapid fame and the complexities of maintaining a demanding career in a foreign land. For 7 years, he carefully adjusted his natural voice, adopting an American accent to fit the role. While this demonstrated his dedication as an actor, it also meant suppressing a part of his identity that he cherished deeply. The role of Mark, while beloved, began to feel limiting, as Glenn longed to show the world more of who he truly was as an artist. In 1999, Glenn found that opportunity when he joined the cast of Angel, a spin-off of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. In the role of Alan Doyle, a kind-hearted half-human, half-demon, he was finally able to speak in his authentic Irish accent, something that brought him immense pride. The role allowed Glenn to tap into his roots, offering a fresh connection with audiences who appreciated his sincerity and heart. The character of Doyle became an instant favorite, adding layers of vulnerability and heroism to the show's early episodes. Despite his professional accomplishments, Glenn also faced personal hurdles. Like many young stars navigating sudden fame, he encountered pressures that few could see from the outside. Balancing public expectations with private struggles can be an immense challenge for any actor. Throughout his journey, Glenn remained close to his family, who continued to support him through every chapter of his life. Friends and colleagues remembered him for his warmth, generosity, and kindness, a man who brought joy to those around him, whether on set or off. On December 3, 2002, Glenn's life was sadly cut short at the age of just 32. His passing was deeply mourned by fans, co-stars, and all who knew him. As a mark of respect and affection, when Roseanne returned for its 10th season in 2018, the producers made the heartfelt decision not to recast the role of Mark Healy. Instead, they honored Glenn's memory in silence, allowing his legacy to remain untouched and reminding audiences of the enduring impact he had. Shelley Winters as Nana Mary. Born as Shirley Shrift on August 18, 1920 in St. Louis, Missouri, Shelley Winters grew up during the Great Depression, an era that shaped her tenacity and drive. From an early age, Shelley stood out, not just for her striking appearance, but for her boundless ambition. After moving with her family to Brooklyn, New York, she attended the Hollywood High School of Performing Arts, before launching a career that would span more than 70 years. Shelley started as a bit player in 1940s films, often cast as the blonde bombshell. But she quickly proved she was more than just a pretty face, fighting for and winning serious, challenging roles that showcased her depth as an actress. Her breakthrough came with A Place in the Sun in 1951, where she transformed herself into a vulnerable, tragic figure, earning her first Academy Award nomination. Over the decades, Shelley amassed 2 Oscar wins for The Diary of Anne Frank and A Patch of Blue, as well as a Golden Globe. She became known for portraying characters who defied convention, from factory workers to complex mothers, from seductive women to fearsome villains. Shelley's performances were as dynamic as her real-life persona, bold, unfiltered, and fiercely independent. When Shelley joined Roseanne in the early 1990s as Nana Mary, she brought all of that spirit to the small screen. At age 71, she turned the character into a fan favorite. Nana Mary's quick wit, rebellious energy, and refusal to be confined by age or expectation made her a standout on the show, much like Shelley herself had been throughout her career. Audiences loved how she delivered biting lines with warmth, blending humor with wisdom in a way only she could. Off-screen, Shelley's life was filled with as much passion and drama as her characters. She married 4 times, including a whirlwind final union with Jerry DeFord just hours before she passed away, a gesture of love and commitment that reflected her dramatic flair. Her relationship with her daughter Victoria went through many ups and downs, marked by public tensions and private reconciliations, with peace only truly coming during Shelley's final years. A lifelong activist, she marched in Selma for civil rights in 1965 and remained outspoken on issues from women's rights to global equality, never shying away from causes she believed in. After suffering a heart attack in 2005, Shelley's health began to decline. Yet, even in those final months, she remained surrounded by friends, admirers, and loved ones who cherished her spirit. On January 14, 2006, at the age of 85, Shelley Winters passed away at the Beverly Hills Rehabilitation Center. Martin Mull as Leon Karp. Martin Eugene Mull, born on August 18, 1943 in Chicago, Illinois, grew up with a mind as sharp as his future humor. Raised in Ohio, he attended the Rhode Island School of Design, where he earned both a Bachelor and Master of Fine Arts, setting the stage for a lifelong balance between visual art and performing. Then, Martin's early career wasn't built in the bright lights of Hollywood, but in the quieter corners of coffee houses and comedy clubs, where his satirical songs and deadpan delivery earned him a loyal following. In the 1970s, he broke into television with Mary Hartman, and later starred in Fernwood Tonight, showcasing his knack for blending biting commentary with subtle charm. By 1991, when Martin joined Roseanne as Leon Karp at age 48, he was already an established figure in comedy and music circles. Leon, the no-nonsense, often exasperated boss of Roseanne at the Lanford Lunchbox, quickly became a character fans loved to hate and, over time, just loved. Martin infused Leon with layers, a sharp tongue softened by glimpses of vulnerability, a rigid exterior masking quiet insecurities. His portrayal of Leon, one of the earliest openly gay recurring characters on a mainstream sitcom, was groundbreaking for its time, handled with both wit and grace. Martin's dry humor and timing added depth, making Leon's clashes with Roseanne memorable and, at times, surprisingly tender. Away from the cameras, Martin was known for his intellectual honesty and fiercely independent spirit. Twice divorced, he openly admitted he could be difficult to live with, too blunt, too focused on his creative vision, whether on canvas or set. His work as a painter thrived alongside his acting, with exhibitions across the country. However, his uncompromising nature sometimes led to friction, most notably during his time on Sabrina the Teenage Witch, where creative disagreements resulted in a reduced role. Now, Martin Mull is remembered not just as a beloved TV figure, but as a true artist in every sense. As lung cancer began to impact his health in his later years, Martin retreated more deeply into his painting, finding peace in the unfiltered expression of art, free from commercial pressures. On June 27, 2024, at age 80, he passed away quietly at his Los Angeles home. Today, his legacy endures, through his unforgettable roles, his thought-provoking artwork, and the trail he blazed for future generations of performers who value authenticity above all. Martin Mull remains a symbol of wit, integrity, and creative fearlessness. Fred Willard as Scott. Fred Willard, born on September 18, 1933 in Shaker Heights, Ohio, was destined to bring joy to audiences, even if his path to stardom was far from ordinary. Then, Fred's early years were marked by resilience and quiet determination. After serving in the U.S. Army, he moved to New York City, where he pursued acting and comedy with a natural ease that made him stand out. He co-founded comedy groups, performed on stage, and eventually found his niche in television, where his gift for improvisation and warm, offbeat humor charmed both viewers and colleagues. By the time he joined Roseanne in the mid-1990s as Scott, the affable, quirky partner of Leon Karp, Fred was already a familiar face in American households, known for his work on Fernwood Two-Night This Is Spinal Tap and Best in Show. On Roseanne, Scott was more than just comic relief. He represented a gentle, steady presence who balanced Leon's intensity. Fred brought to the role a subtlety that few could match, turning small moments into memorable highlights. His portrayal helped normalize same-sex partnerships on mainstream television during a time when such representation was still rare, and he did so with kindness and without fanfare. Off-screen, Fred's life was a mix of professional triumphs and personal challenges. His marriage to Mary Lovell endured more than 50 years, a testament to their bond, though not without its strains. Friends and insiders sometimes spoke of long periods where work demands or private struggles kept Fred at a distance. The couple weathered these storms, and their devotion remained evident until Mary's passing in 2018, a loss that left Fred profoundly changed. In 2012, Fred faced a difficult public moment that cast a shadow over his final career years. Yet he met adversity with humility and dignity, focusing on moving forward. Though he gradually stepped back from the limelight, his influence endured. Now, Fred is remembered as one of comedy's kindest souls, a man whose characters brought smiles to millions, even as he quietly faced his own hardships. When Fred passed away on May 15, 2020, at age 86 from heart failure, he left behind a legacy filled with laughter, generosity, and a reminder of the humanity behind the humor. His work continues to inspire actors and comedians who seek to blend warmth and wit with sincerity. Ned Beatty as Ed Connor. Ned Thomas Beatty, born on July 6, 1937 in Louisville, Kentucky, grew up in a modest household that instilled in him a deep appreciation for hard work and resilience. From an early age, his love for music and performing was clear. He sang in church choirs and community events before turning his sights to acting. Then, after years honing his craft in regional theater, Ned's big break arrived with Deliverance in 1972. His portrayal in that film, raw and unforgettable, catapulted him to stardom, but also left emotional scars that lingered long after the cameras stopped rolling. The role's intensity and its impact on popular culture meant Ned was often associated with its harrowing moments, something that weighed heavily on him throughout his life. Despite this, Ned's talent and versatility shone brightly. In 1976, he earned an Academy Award nomination for his powerful performance in Network, delivering one of cinema's most iconic monologues, a masterclass in quiet menace and authority. Throughout the 1970s and 1980s, Ned became one of the most respected character actors in Hollywood, bringing depth and humanity to roles in films like Superman, The Big Easy, and Rudy. When he joined Roseanne in the early 1990s as Ed Connor, Dan's firm yet caring father, Ned infused the character with authenticity, portraying a man shaped by his own flaws but striving to do right by his family. Audiences saw in Ed the complexity of real-life fathers, loving yet imperfect, stern yet supportive. Off-screen, Ned's personal life was filled with its own dramas and complexities. Married 4 times, he fathered 8 children, and like many who live under the scrutiny of fame, he struggled to balance family and career. Relationships with some of his children became strained over the years, and he often kept his private battles away from public view. Known for his humility and for shying away from the trappings of celebrity, Ned deliberately stepped back from major roles in the 2000s, preferring a quieter existence out of the spotlight. Ned Beatty is remembered as a master craftsman of his art, an actor who could elevate any role with quiet dignity and emotional truth. He passed away on June 13, 2021, in Los Angeles at the age of 83, leaving behind a legacy rich with memorable performances and a reminder of the strength it takes to navigate both public acclaim and private trials. Wings Hauser as Ty Tilden. Wings Hauser, born Gerald Dwight Hauser on December 12, 1947, in Hollywood, California, seemed destined for a life in the spotlight, yet his path was anything but easy. The son of actor Dwight Hauser, Wings inherited a passion for performance, but also a restless, rebellious spirit that shaped his tumultuous journey. Then, before he ever stepped onto the set of Roseanne as Ty Tilden, the gruff, complex character he played so convincingly at age 45, Wings had already lived a life marked by hardship and resilience. In his younger years, he experienced periods of homelessness, at one point living in a car with his infant daughter, struggling to provide while chasing his dreams of a music career. His 1975 album, Your Love Keeps Me Off the Streets, failed to chart, a crushing blow that pushed him toward acting as a second chance. His breakthrough came in 1982 with Vice Squad, where his chilling portrayal of the menacing pimp Ramrod captivated audiences and critics alike. It was a role that brought him both fame and notoriety, showcasing his ability to dive deep into the psyches of tormented characters. But with success came temptation. The 1980s saw Wings caught in a storm of substance use and reckless living, as he tried to navigate the sudden attention and the demands of an industry that offered as much danger as it did opportunity. His personal life mirrored this chaos. 3 marriages that ended in heartache, long periods of estrangement from his daughter Bright, and a fractured relationship with his son Cole Hauser. Cole, who rose to stardom in his own right with roles in films and series like Yellowstone, grew up largely apart from his father, a distance that took years to repair. When Wings appeared on Roseanne, he brought to Ty Tilden not just acting skill, but lived experience. His weary eyes and weathered voice reflected the struggles of a man who had seen the darker sides of life. The role was small but memorable, adding to the tapestry of characters who made Roseanne so authentic. In his later years, after being diagnosed with chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, Wings stepped away from Hollywood's glare. He found solace alongside his partner, Callie Hauser, running a quiet animal sanctuary near the ocean, a place of healing not just for the animals they cared for, but for Wings himself. On March 15, 2025, at the age of 77, Wings passed away in Santa Monica. His legacy is complex, marked by brilliant performances, personal demons, and a hard-won peace in the twilight of his life. He remains a symbol of raw talent and the enduring human capacity for growth, even after life's fiercest storms. Debbie Reynolds as Audrey Connor. Mary Frances Debbie Reynolds, born on April 1, 1932, in El Paso, Texas, rose from humble beginnings to become one of Hollywood's most beloved icons. Her family relocated to Burbank, California during the Great Depression, and it was there, as a teenager, that Debbie's star began to rise after she won a beauty contest that led to a film contract. Then Debbie enchanted the world in 1952 with Singin' in the Rain, where her radiant charm, vibrant energy, and tireless work ethic shone alongside Gene Kelly and Donald O'Connor. Despite being just 19 during filming and having no formal dance training, Debbie held her own, winning hearts and establishing herself as one of the era's brightest talents. Over the following decades, Debbie became known for more than just her musical roles. Her career spanned film, television, and stage, earning her an Academy Award nomination for The Unsinkable Molly Brown and countless accolades for her work in entertainment. In 1997, at age 65, she joined Roseanne as Audrey Connor, the fragile, complicated mother of Dan Connor. Debbie brought an authenticity to Audrey that resonated deeply with audiences. Her portrayal reflected both vulnerability and quiet strength, a mirror of the emotional depths she herself had navigated in real life. Debbie's personal story was marked by resilience in the face of adversity. Her first marriage to singer Eddie Fisher ended in public betrayal when he left her for Elizabeth Taylor, a scandal that dominated headlines and broke Debbie's heart. Yet she bore the pain with grace, focusing on raising her children, including her daughter, Carrie Fisher, who would go on to become an icon herself. Over the years, Debbie's life included additional trials, financial struggles, failed marriages, and the challenge of supporting her family while rebuilding after personal and professional setbacks. Through it all, she remained devoted to preserving the golden age of Hollywood, amassing a vast collection of film memorabilia and opening a museum dedicated to its history. Debbie's legacy is inseparable from her enduring love for Carrie. In December 2016, heartbreak struck again when Carrie passed away unexpectedly. Just one day later, on December 28, 2016, Debbie herself died at the age of 84, overcome by grief, a poignant end to a remarkable life. The two were laid to rest side by side at Forest Lawn Memorial Park, leaving behind a powerful image of a mother-daughter bond that not even death could break. Red Buttons, as Jake. Aaron Chwat, forever known to the world as Red Buttons, was born on February 5, 1919, in Manhattan, New York. The son of working-class immigrants, Red's early life was shaped by hardship and hustle. Then, as a teenager, he took jobs wherever he could find them, including as a hotel bellhop at a Bronx tavern. It was there that his fiery red hair and the shiny buttons on his uniform earned him the nickname that would follow him for the rest of his life: Red Buttons. With wit as quick as his smile, Red soon found his calling in entertainment, starting as a singer and stand-up comic before becoming a staple of radio, Broadway, and eventually television and film. Red's comedic timing and everyman appeal helped him transition seamlessly from stage to screen. In 1957, he surprised critics and audiences alike by winning an Academy Award for Sayonara, where he showcased his dramatic talent in a deeply moving performance about forbidden love. This role revealed a depth that many had not seen in his earlier, lighter fare, and cemented his place among Hollywood's most respected character actors. Throughout his career, Red balanced humor and pathos, delivering performances that made audiences both laugh and reflect. When Red joined Roseanne in his 70s, portraying Jake, a lonely, talkative elder who had seen all of life's highs and lows, he brought to the role a lifetime of experience and emotional truth. His Jake was more than just a supporting character. He represented the forgotten voices of older generations, offering wisdom, humor, and poignant reminders of life's fleeting nature. Red's performance was subtle, yet powerful, making Jake a character who stayed with viewers long after the credits rolled. Off-screen, Red's life was as complex as any role he played. His 3 marriages were marked by periods of love, turmoil, and eventual distance. While he found lasting companionship in his final marriage to Alicia Pratt, their years together were not without challenges. Family ties were often strained, and rumors of personal indiscretions, including an alleged affair that clouded his reputation, added to the burdens he carried privately. Later in life, Red struggled with financial woes, particularly gambling debts that nearly cost him his beloved Century City apartment. Despite his fame, he spent his final years increasingly isolated, stepping back from the spotlight that had once embraced him so warmly. On July 13, 2006, at age 87, Red passed away quietly at his Los Angeles home from vascular disease. His legacy lives on in the laughter he sparked and the emotional truths he brought to his roles, a reminder that behind even the brightest smile can lie unseen struggles and hard-won wisdom. John Randolph as Al Harris, born Emmanuel Hirsch Cohen. On June 1, 1915, John Randolph brought to life Al Harris, Roseanne's cold, distant father. His performance reflected real hardship. Blacklisted during the McCarthy era, John and his wife Sarah lost everything rather than betray their beliefs. Though the strain nearly ended their marriage, they endured together. John's temper and unhealed childhood wounds colored both his work and personal life. Even in his later years, he never stopped acting, appearing in You've Got Mail and more. On February 24, 2004, he passed at 88. A man defined by principle and perseverance. Phil Leeds as Lily. Phil Leeds, born April 6, 1916, appeared at 77 as Lily, an eccentric surprise love interest in a Roseanne Halloween episode. Off-screen, Phil faced harsh trials. Blacklisted in his early career, he scraped by behind the scenes, moving props on sets where he once starred. His long marriage to Toby Brandt weathered his temper and isolation, but left him adrift after her death in 1987. Depression gripped his final years. Phil died of pneumonia at 82 on August 16, 1998, a gifted character actor shaped by adversity. Stan Freberg as Mr. Parkin. Stan Freberg, born August 7, 1926, brought dry wit to Mr. Parkin, the timid banker caught in life's chaos. Famous for biting satire, Stan's career faltered in the 1970s when his critiques of advertising angered powerful networks. His first marriage ended bitterly, and though he found love again with Hunter Freberg, his health declined. Heart disease and cognitive struggles defined his last years. Stan died at 88 on April 7, 2015, remembered for daring to speak truth to power. Kathleen Freeman as Edna. Kathleen Freeman, born February 17, 1923, was 73 when she played Edna, the grumpy but hilarious presence fans adored. Never married, she devoted herself to acting, with rumors about her close relationship with lifelong friend Helen Ramsey following her throughout her career. Behind the scenes, she battled alcoholism and the pain of being typecast. A Tony nomination in 2001 brought late recognition, but lung cancer claimed her just days later on August 23rd. She was 78, leaving behind a rich legacy of character work. Selma Archard as Lucille. Selma Archard, born February 26, 1925, joined Roseanne at 69 as Lucille, the meddlesome neighbor everyone remembers. In real life, Selma spent decades seeking lead roles, only to be overlooked for not fitting Hollywood's narrow standards. Marrying famed columnist Army Archard brought whispers of career trades for gossip. Selma passed on December 14, 2023, at 98, her name little known, but her face unforgettable. Jeff Corey as salesman. Jeff Corey, born Arthur Zweerling on August 10, 1914, appeared at 75 as a modest salesman, his quiet dignity mirroring the man himself. Blacklisted for refusing to betray colleagues, Jeff endured years of poverty before turning to teaching, mentoring legends like James Dean. His personal life bore the strain of those battles, marked by alcohol struggles and the scars of unfair judgment. On August 16, 2002, he passed at 88, his contributions far outlasting his hardships. Which of these remarkable actors left the deepest impression on you, and why? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you found their stories meaningful, please like this video, subscribe, and help us keep these memories alive. Thank you for watching.